back there. This will be the front of the stage. I'm really glad to be here today. Yanni and I are excited to give the opportunity to speak to you guys today. I really think that by the time you leave today, you're going to get some ideas that can really help you with your business. I want to start by congratulating you for being here. The reason I want to congratulate you is you actually made the time to be here. You have a lot of stuff going on in your life, in your business, but you actually showed up today. I know that takes an effort. It's really only a small portion of business owners that make the time to actually learn, to try to find ways to succeed in business. And since you made today a priority, Yanni and I are making it a priority that the time that you're committing right now is more than worthwhile. In fact, our goal, believe it or not, would be that we want you to leave here today with the feeling like, wow, I would have paid for that. We're going to try to accomplish that in a couple ways. First of all, if you saw the website, then you probably already know. I'm giving you a PDF copy of my book, How Your Business Can Survive and Prosper in a Recession. I interviewed 18 business, sales, and marketing experts, got them to reveal their secrets, methods, strategies to help businesses survive and prosper in a recession. You know that topic's sort of the news right now. I currently do not offer it to the public right now. I offered it in the past. I sold it somewhere between $20 and $40. So in a sense, just you showing up today is like us handing you a $20 bill. But I want to make sure that you understand that the book itself, if all you did was get the book and leave, the book is more valuable than $20 to $40. It originally came out in 2002. Some of the technology mentioned in it is older, but the ideas, the principles, the strategies, 85 to 90% of the book is still applicable today. And it will be applicable tomorrow, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. And if you just take one or two of the ideas from the book, don't just get the book and never read it. But if you look at it and check out some of the interviews and actually apply some of it, it literally could be worth 100 times whatever I charge for it. Not exaggerating. Secondly, the way that we want to make this more than worth your time is the topic that we're talking about today. We wanted to focus on a topic that you care about, a goal that you care about, how to increase your revenue, how to make more sales. But instead of talking about it in the way that you might expect us to talk about it, instead of talking about it in the way that most business owners go about trying to achieve this goal, we want to come at it from a completely different angle and look at it in a way and reveal a way to you that you may be overlooking and not even realize. And if you just take, again, this idea and actually do something with it, it can have a big impact on your business. It can relieve some of the stress that you're feeling when you think about trying to increase revenue and increase sales. We're gonna give you a copy, a link for my book you'll get at the end of our time together. But today what we're going to do is focus on this topic, how you can tap into the hidden revenue source most other business owners overlook. Before we get into that strategy, Yanni's going to come up right now and he's going to set the stage to make sure that we're all starting on the same page. Yanni.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Scott. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us out here. Jennifer, thank you again. We met at Eagle Country Christmas. She was manning the booth, right? And we just started chatting. It's ironic. It's crazy to me to think 8 months later here we are.
I love it.
So if you've ever talked with Jennifer, you know that after about 2 minutes you're like, oh, I have a new best friend. So thank you for having us out. So we do want to add a high level of value, and you did a great job with the bios. I have to admit, I hate the bios. My wife's like, no, you have to tell people why they should care. And like, they should just care because we have good information. I'm like, no, people don't just care for that reason. They have to know that you've done something in the past with your good information. So we have, and that's why we're here today. And one of the things I want to do is make sure that we're all on the same page with some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. And of course, obviously, cotton balls is a fabulous way to do that, right? So if anybody needs some cotton balls. So this is your business. Whatever you do, whatever you sell, whatever you do to to drive revenue. Now, in a not-for-profit business, revenue drives the work you do. In a for-profit business, the work you do drives the revenue that drives whatever outcome that you're after. Sometimes it's the work that you do. All right, before I confuse us too much, let's stick with this as your business. This, all these wonderful little cotton balls, is revenue. Revenue is, and some of you are like, wait, can you stop talking? I have a degree in this. I have an MBA. I don't need this. But not everybody in this room, not everybody who's in business understands these simple terms. So we just want to make sure that we're level setting. Right? If I asked you to raise your hand, there'd be some people who are like, oh, a P&L, that's one of my favorite shows on Saturday night. No, that would be SNL, right? Okay. Revenue is everything that comes into your business that's not a loan. So it's all the money that you and your business make. Rental properties, what you sell, the services that you provide, everything that comes in. Expenses are what go out of your company to make the revenue, right? So they are the money you invest to make the revenue. So perfect example is here. We're here at Idaho Pizza, and they just took in revenue. In fact, each one of you sitting here represents revenue to them. Now, the expenses that we can see are this building and the lights and the HVAC. All of these things, the fixing of the soda machines, those are all expenses. And then what's left is profit, almost. Forgot taxes. Ever done that? Will that moment not drive you to go make more revenue immediately? Is that not? I've been there. It's an awful thing. Okay, so this is profit. And this is what's left. And there are two ways to increase profit. And the first way is you can cut some of those expenses. So instead of pulling out all of that, pull out a little less. Now, do Scott and I help companies with that? Yes. Do we do it in a group setting? No. Why? Because you're all smart people. And you know that if there were some expenses that you could cut to increase revenue that wouldn't hurt your business, you would have done it already. So the expenses that are left, they're not, oh, you know what, let's not do that and let's not do that. What they tend to be is like a surgeon with a scalpel. It's heart surgery. Because the obvious stuff you've already cut, the things that maybe you shouldn't cut or don't know if you should cut, it's precision, right? Because the moment you nick that artery, that patient may bleed out slowly before you know it. Now, some of you don't believe me, so I brought another object lesson. Okay. I have no idea how hard it was to find something like this in my house. We still have them. For anybody under the age of 30, this used to be a company called Kodak. This was a prolific company, not usually, and for those of you under 30, this is called a VHS. This was pre-DVD. Kodak wasn't really known for this, they were known for this. This is literally film, camera film. Now, just by show of hands, I'm curious. Raise your hand if in the last 3 months you've bought a Kodak product. Last year? 3 years? 5 years? 10 years? Thank you. One person in the last 10 years, but and that hand didn't go very high. Yes, I did. I bought the Kodak. Okay. These guys were the absolute dominant market leader. And specifically, camera film. What a lot of people don't know is they invented the digital camera in 1975. They patented that technology. And the leaders were looking, and this is the statement that they made. Okay, great job. they're speaking to the engineer, great job, this is incredible invention. Nobody's going to want to look at their pictures on the television. And they cut the project. Now, in 2022, that sounds insane. But in 1975, they could not fathom a world where anybody would want to look at pictures on a TV screen. And because of that, the dominant market leader slowly bled out over time, and one person in this room bought a Kodak product within the last 10 years. Why am I saying that? Because if you cut more than what you've cut, you might cut more than you want to cut. Okay, so we're not here to talk about that. What we are here to talk about is growing revenue, right? Because if you grow revenue, you're going to grow profit. Sort of. There's a right way and a wrong way. Don't we want our business to look like this? Okay. Kind of. So I know another company, I won't tell you their name, they're fairly recent. They were started by two gentlemen, and these two gentlemen, it was a service-based company. Within 6 months, they were doing about $50,000 to $100,000 a year in revenue. It's a good start. It's a really good start. And had they continued on the same trajectory, they would have finished the year at about $200,000 in revenue. Now, they had about a 90 to 92% profit margin because it was all service-based. So these guys would almost be hitting 6 figures first year on their business in profit take home. It's wonderful. But they said, hold on, we can scale this quick. We can grow this revenue. And they did. Oh my gosh, they did. $1 million in revenue in the next 6 months. Now, to do that, they had to hire a lot more staff. And then they had to have some HR platforms and a lot more infrastructure. And then they had to change their how they handle their clients. And what are you saying, Sean? They made $1 million and had no profit from a 92% profit margin? No. They went $250,000 into debt. I just talked with one of the founders a couple months ago. They went $250,000 into debt. But you just told me they went from $100,000 in annual revenue to $1 million. They did. And all they did was increase all of their expenses because they did it absolutely wrong. I just talked with this guy. Look, if you don't increase your revenue correctly, all you're doing is increasing your employees and increasing your headache and increasing your programming and increasing, but are you actually increasing profits? And for okay, that's great. That's the best for, I just finished Kodak. Like, that's great. If you could have just done that 5 minutes earlier, that was, thank you so much. And actually, that's a really good reminder. Thank you for what you guys do. You heard some of my bio. Thank you for what the Assistance League does. Part of my traveling was with troubled teenagers, not like that, with troubled kids for years. Still do. So thank you. Okay. So, will growing revenue mean more profit? It can mean more profit. We're going to show you how not to do it. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go back to old school for a second, right? Old school analogy. For some of you, you're gonna have that old V8 moment where you're like, oh, it makes so much sense now. But there is a right and a wrong way. Because you can grow revenue and go $250,000 into debt. And so Scott's gonna come up to tell you kind of what the wrong way is and start to walk you through what some of the right way is. Scott?
Thanks, Yanni. I'm going to just say that unsaid thing here right now. Yanni has me here to make him look even taller than also, you notice we had object lessons, and now we are going to have story time. So we're trying our best to keep you awake and focused during this lunchtime. I want to tell you an ancient story that has a very modern application. And the reason I want you to hear this story is because once you start to get this story, you're going to get just the beginning of the understanding of this easier, less expensive way to increase your revenue. So here is the story. There once lived a man who lived near the river Indus. He was an ancient Persian man by the name of Ali Hafed. Ali Hafed owned a large farm. He owned orchards and grain fields and gardens. He had money put away, earning interest. He was a wealthy and a happy man. Until one day, a Buddhist priest came to visit him. The Buddhist priest came to sit and sat down next to Ali Hafed by the fire and started telling him these stories of these diamonds that were so amazing that if you had one the size of your thumb, you could buy the whole country. The priest went on talking about if you had these diamond mines, you'd have such wealth and influence, you could put your children onto thrones. As soon as Ali Hafed hung out with the priest, he started to feel not so satisfied with his life anymore. He went to bed that night feeling poor, not because he was any poorer than he was, but because he wanted those diamonds, because he started to feel the difference in his life. So the next morning he woke up and he went straight to where the priest was. He woke him up and he said, I need to have diamonds. Show me where I can get diamonds. He's like, diamonds? What do you want diamonds for? He said, I want diamonds because I want to be wealthy. Very wealthy. The priest gave one of those very priesty answers. And he said, well, then go along and find them. That's all you have to do. Go find them. And when you find them, you'll have them. What? Ali Hafed said, I don't know where to go. The priest said, you will find them in a river that runs through white sands between two high mountains. Ali Hafed said, I don't even believe there's that type of river. The priest said, there are many of them. All you need to do is go, and when you go, you will find them. And when you find them, you will have them. So Ali Hafed said, okay, I'll go. He sold his property and everything he had. He had his wife and family stay at his neighbor's house to be taken care of. And then he went to begin to search for these diamonds. He began his journey searching for the diamonds in a place that was called the Mountain of the Moon. And no matter how long he searched, he couldn't find any diamonds. He went to Palestine, and he had no luck. He finally went to Europe, still couldn't find any diamonds, and eventually ended up in Spain with no diamonds, and all of his wealth gone, just left in rags. He felt helpless because the search, the so-called diamonds go, when you find them, you'll have them, never came to be. Not only did he not end up with diamonds, he ended up losing everything he had in the process. And so there in Spain, he stood at the Bay of Barcelona, and he watched the waves come crashing into shore between what was called the Pillars of Hercules. And as he's watching these giant waves come in, he cannot resist the temptation and the urge to throw himself into the waves. And so he did. Threw himself into the waves, sank and drowned beneath the giant crest of water. The end. Great story, right? No, just kidding. Not the end of the story. Later on, after Ali Hafed passed away, the man who purchased his land was one day walking out in the garden with his camel. As he took the camel by the creek there on the property, the camel began to rub its nose in the white sands along the brook. And as he did, Ali Hafed's successor looks down and he sees this black rock with this eye of light that shined all the hues of the rainbow. And he thought, this is kind of cool. Brought it home with him, put it on the mantle by the fireplace, and quickly forgot about it. Until one day, guess who showed up? The same priest that visited Ali Hafed came to this new successor's house. And as soon as the man opened the door, the priest saw the light on the mantle. He ran over to the mantle, he grabbed it, he said, this is a diamond. Is Ali Hafed back? He said, Ali Hafed is not back. And this is not a diamond. This is just a rock I found in the stream here on my property. And the priest is like, look, I know what a diamond is. That's a diamond. And it was in that moment where suddenly the realization, suddenly the realization hit them. The property Ali Hafed had sold contained diamonds. They both run out to the creek and they run their hands through the white sand, and believe it or not, they find even bigger and better diamonds than the one he had on the mantle. And legend has it that it was one of the largest diamond mines in history. Now this is the part of the story, because you're like, okay, great story, although depressing, the guy killed himself. This is why I wanted you to hear it. This is the most important part I don't want you to miss. Had Ali Hafed remained at home, dug in his own cellar, underneath his own wheat fields, in his own garden, instead of poverty, starvation, and death by suicide in a foreign land, if he would have stayed there and dug there, he would have ended up with acres of diamonds. The reason that I tell you that is because many business owners go searching and searching for their acre of diamonds, the lost revenue, and they don't realize that it's right under their nose. Your acre of diamonds are your customers. Here's why I say that. I don't know if you realize it, but there are really only 3 ways any business can make money, no matter what business you have here today. There are basically 3 ways to make money. The first way is to get more people to buy, right? That's go out and get new customers, right? I need more customers. I need more customers. That's the first way any business can make money. Here's the second way. Get people to buy more. That's focused more on customers who are purchasing. And then this is the third way that a business can make money. Get people to buy more often. Those are the 3 ways any business in this room makes money. Get more people to buy, go out there and get new customers, get people to buy more, or get people to buy more often. Buying more often is focused on customers who have already purchased from you. Can you guess which one of these 3 most business owners spend all their time, all their effort, all their money on? Boom. Number 1. Exactly. And you know why? It makes the most sense. If you got a business, I need more customers. And of course, you need more customers, but it's actually a very costly mistake to spend all your time, all your effort, and all your money only focused on one of those ways. The first way to make revenue. In the book that you're going to get, I interviewed Jay Conrad Levinson, best-selling author of a series of books called Guerrilla Marketing. He says this in the book. You can read this yourself when you get the book. It costs you 6 times more to sell something to a new person than to sell the same offering to a customer. It costs you 6 times more to sell the same thing to somebody new than to sell it to someone who's already purchased it. Not only is it more expensive, it is easier to sell to your own customers. To somebody that, think about it, somebody that already has some connection to your business, already has some relationship with your business, already purchased from you and is happy. It's much easier to get them to buy it again than to get a stranger who's like, wait, what do you do? Who are you?